The pinnacle of the ascension cycle marks the end of the 3D collective timelines on the Earth. As the planet is moving into higher frequencies that are located in a future time-space, it is shifting the planetary consciousness into a future dimensional octave. This skips the entire planetary consciousness field, therefore the collective human consciousness, into future timelines that resonate with much higher dimensional frequencies. Many of us on the ascension timeline have already transcended these lower dimensional timelines. What is important to discern is that this is a planetary event that is impacting everyone on the Earth and beyond. At the end of 2017, the planetary body is shifting into the higher frequency band that is located in the next harmonic universe. This event will change the planetary coordinates, planetary timelines, thus changing where the planet is actually located in universal space-time. The collective consciousness in the planet has been shifting through dimensional frequency bands quite regularly, during the ascension cycle. However, what portends this will be a major collective consciousness shift, is that the planet is rolling up the lowest three frequency bands, 1D, 2D, and 3D, into the higher frequency bands in the next harmonic universe. This means that the lower three-dimensional frequency bands will cease to exist in the planet. All that will remain is the frequency accumulation that the collective inhabitants generate in their own consciousness, which are the energies that form from their own mental beliefs, behaviors and actions. The people that remain in the third-dimensional consciousness after this shift will find themselves increasingly uncomfortable, extremely pressurized and unhappy. Thus, many will feel the squeezing pressure to transform rapidly through the alchemical theme of polarity synthesis, which helps to bring completion to these old karmic patterns from the past, if we are willing to let them go. This purging process will add or subtract the required blueprint patterns that we may need to meet these new coordinates in the Earth grid, and to help clear out the unstable or dark force influence in our lives. We are being purged deeply and the remaining content is processed into higher light and consciousness, to be stabilized and synthesized into the body, in order to improve energetic coherence and spiritual strength. Our responsibility now is to practice unconditional love to all that we see, and to see everything and everyone around us as connected to the unified whole. At the same time, we make clear intentions of where we place our consent, in higher authority. This loving intention and compassionate practice will keep our heart open and aligned to the source field, and will make the transition much more comfortable. The deep reconfiguration that is transpiring within the planet's holographic geography is affecting the operation of stargates, power vortices, ley lines, and ray force transmissions. As a result, this trickles down into the collective consciousness of the human race, directly impacting the consciousness functions of the human light body, spiritual identity and timelines. The macrocosm architecture is undergoing a radical shift, and this in turn manifests a chain reaction that profoundly alters the configuration of the human energy field and light body. Events that profoundly alter our energy field produce radical changes in our lifestyle and relationships. Preparing for 2017. Many of us have been preparing for the planetary alignment into the next harmonic universe at the end of 2017, which has required many planetary grid workers to clear out multiple timelines, devices and implant structures that are recorded in the collective consciousness fields, either from the accumulated past miasmatic energies, or that were created with artificial intelligence. This 5-year window is very important in meeting the mission upgrade deadline, for the planetary anchoring into the new collective consciousness timelines at the end of 2017. In order to meet this deadline, the planet is required to have an increase in the base threshold of frequency that is held within the consciousness of the people that make up the collective consciousness agreements on the planet. At the end of 2017, the planet undergoes a precise measurement of the quantum field, which directly impacts the future evolution timelines for all of the inhabitants when they move through the consciousness corridor. Effectively, the Earth body will be anchored into new time and space vectors in the future dimension, that is located within the 5D frequency band timelines. This shift in location will directly impact the collective consciousness agreement, although many of the population will be unaware consciously that this major shift has occurred. During the bifurcation cycle, the planetary body has gradually undergone subatomic shifting in the lower fields of the particle structure, which forces collapse in lower dimensions and rolls them up, as the entities are transited out and the leftover energies merge with the next octave of higher harmonic frequencies. As a result, the point in time and space where the planetary body is located, and the time continuum in which we exist as a collective consciousness, is being moved into the next harmonic universe. Therefore, the collective consciousness will be subjected to the laws governing the energetic fields in that new space-time. Those of us on the ascending path have already made this consciousness shift beforehand, while we are coexisting on the planet with many people that are still maintaining the lower energies that descend with the third-dimensional timelines. So the split in the timelines and frequency schism are existing in parallel to each other, yet each person that represents either the upward or downward momentum of the energetic spiral, is actually located at a different point in the timeline. Their station of identity is located at a different point in the time-space continuum. The collective fields of planet are scheduled to move into the soul timelines of the fourth, fifth and sixth dimensional fields of the next harmonic universe. For people on the Earth that have not yet evolved to the point where they have dissolved their chakra membranes, the fourth, fifth and sixth dimensional wave spectrum will gradually replace and become connected into the lower energy centers where the first, second and third chakra previously existed. The position of the soul matrix will fully embody in the core of the human body, eliminating the barriers between the solar plexus and heart. Many of us don't have the lower chakra configurations anymore, while we are existing on the Earth plane. This planetary event changes the chakra energy center configuration in the Earth and in individual people, based upon their spiritual integration and unique genetic arrangement. Collapsing 3D timelines. In the creational structure of harmonic universes there are two timelines per dimensional frequency band. As the planet is moving into the next scale of the higher harmonic structure, the 6 timelines that existed within the lower 3 dimensions are rolling up into the next harmonic, so they cease to exist in the same frequency band. This poses a variety of new consciousness experiences for people on Earth that will impact memories, other identity lifetimes, and other historical recordings that were made to the past or future timelines. As many different people on the Earth are existing at different levels on the scale of spiritual evolution, where their base frequency stabilizes in their light body, determines their timeline and future spiritual direction, whether they are consciously involved in that decision or not. People who are not yet on the ascension path, but are in spiritual agreement with the collective consciousness shift, if they stay incarnated on the Earth, the move into the next harmonic universe will deepen their soul bond within their physical body, therefore, placing them on their soul timeline. This will be true for the majority of the current collective consciousness field. However, the metamorphosis that occurs at the earliest soul initiation to open the heart, when there is unresolved pain recorded there, can be very confusing for people that do not have emotional healing tools or spiritual ascension context. This will thrust many Earth inhabitants into experiencing the dark night of the soul, and the planetary landscape in the earlier stages of this shift may feel quite chaotic and dark. As many people will be unexpectedly plunged into communing with the higher frequencies, in order to purify themselves of painful lower vibrations. For those people that are already soul integrated, the new foundation to draw upon will allow much easier access into higher monadic frequencies, making it much easier to accomplish. The move will deepen the monadic bond within their physical body, therefore placing them on their monadic identity timeline. At the time of full monadic body integration, the chakra membranes dissolve, and the light body structure begins to change into a norb body that accretes the source field or plasma waves. When we energetically evolve and move up in dimensional frequency bands, we are exposed to more dimensional octaves, therefore more potential timelines. However, in the range of polarities that may exist as potential consciousness experiences, there is only one timeline that is the highest expression of our spiritual identity and that manifests the fulfillment of our heroic probability. Within the future timelines are stations of identity, commonly called soul, monad, and Christos self. These spiritual identities comprise light body parts or whole spiritual bodies of our forgotten future selves. These are spiritual energetic bodies that hold our consciousness intelligence matrices, our mind matrices, and that make up our spiritual identity. We are designed to reclaim these spiritual energetic pieces during the ascension cycle. This is why those on the spiritual ascension path continually experience their energetic healing by meeting the cellular memories that surface for compassionate witnessing, at different stages of evolution in the multiple timelines. As we move through the series of timelines in each dimensional octave, we reclaim our spiritual identity, while recoding and changing the artificial or false reality from interfering with our continued consciousness expansion. We connect with our lost aspects to merge with these timelines, which allow us to reclaim and recollect our spiritual bodies, clear negative forms, clones, and artificial intelligence. As we clear false identities and inorganic architecture from suppressing and impairing our consciousness, we are extracting the alien enslavement programming and clearing implants, in order to embody our true inner Christos spirit. Planetary chakra reconfiguration. The chakras that exist in the 3D Earth's energetic consciousness body are replicated in the 3D human energetic body at the point we incarnate on this 3D Earth. As a result of coming here, we accept the planetary body imprint on our consciousness body, which configures itself into what we know as the main chakra cones. Each of these cones have an opening that directly interfaces with the same dimensional plane of the Earth's consciousness body and the 12 planets in our solar system, that together, make up the total consciousness body of the original Earth. Each of the chakras have membranes that separate the dimensions and the ray forces that exist within that specific wave spectrum. As the planetary membranes collapse as a result of collapsing timelines and collapsing obsolete dimensional spaces, pockets of space-time, so do the membranes dissolve that have created these separate compartments for the chakra cones. What is happening to dissolve the chakra's membrane and the chakra panel is a result of the ascension cycle and is an evolutionary event. Yet, some of the masses are not ready to leave the chakra system because they are fully interdependent on the energy centers governing the life force to circulate into their bodies functioning. Until they awaken to choose to go beyond the ego programming, it is nearly impossible to remove or clear these membranes, as they will be seriously impacted. Some people on this earth are going absolutely crazy from this change happening in the chakra fields, as they have not been prepared for what is occurring. So it is helpful to comprehend that all beings that incarnate on the 3D timelines of Earth, currently have this configuration in their personal energy centers, or through spiritual ascension and developing their light body, they may have evolved past the chakra membranes that created the separation in between the dimensional planes, that are represented as the chakra energy cones in an individual. A person incarnating into this density, a very low vibration, will not be able to hold the necessary high frequency that allows them to join fully with all of their many stations of identities that had been split apart and sitting inside the dimensional axis of their own chakra cones. The person, through developing consciousness, gets their identities integrated, retrieves missing pieces, and those pieces reintegrate through the chakra cone, so this in itself is an appropriate function for the overall collective consciousness state that exists on the Earth right now. the majority of people will not have the consciousness ability to be involved in what you are referring to in evolving out of chakras yet, and many of us here are not only here to develop our light body, but to hold the necessary energetic space for the entire planet, the human tribes in the collective consciousness, to be the prototype that allows future humans to continue where we have left off. Cause and effect. As we undergo the bifurcation of time during the ascension cycle, it is supportive to understand that the current planetary consciousness shift radically magnifies and speeds up energetic forces that are governed by the universal law of cause and effect. As we move into the next harmonic universe, the law of cause and effect manifests much more quickly, more accurately, with the frequency being matched, and with more intensity on the material plane of Earth than it ever did before. In every area of our life, when we generate belief systems, thoughts, behaviors, emotions and actions, this accumulates into energetic content that combines with the vibrationally matched consciousness fields that are in the environment. Moving forward, the energetic content that we send out will return back to us with increasing immediacy, and even instantaneously. Whatever the quality of energy that we broadcast out into the universe, it sets into motion the accumulative frequency of the energetic content that will be directly returned back to us. This is why it's crucial to be able to find our inner stillness in meditation, and broadcast as much unconditional love, forgiveness, peace and gratitude to the universe as possible. The third-dimensional timelines to which we have been accustomed are much more dense and infected with layers of artificial intelligence, subconscious mind fragments, phantom spaces and dark entities. As a result of the density, the return of the corresponding reciprocal energies that occurs in the process of cause and effect, is slowed down in the lower density, has less energetic concentration, and takes longer to manifest in the sequence of our personal timeline. It was harder for us to connect the dots between the causal event and the actual effect our thought forms and emotions had upon the environment, because it took much longer, required more energetic strength and willpower to bring it into manifestation. Changing planetary laws of structure. The planet has just completed its magnetic peak cycle, which discharged a massive amount of magnetic force into the Earth. The subatomic particles of elemental matter are rearranging to support the planetary body shift into the next harmonic universe. All communication systems connected to these levels of planetary architecture are undergoing fluctuation, reconfiguration and potentially rebuilding interstellar links that reconnect Earth portals to realign into multiple star systems and celestial bodies. This massive shift at the quantum scale is changing the law of structure in the architecture that governs function over our matter body, as well as our consciousness bodies. Quantic field impact to space-time. Currently, the planetary body is undergoing a space-time reorganization that ripples out many strange anomalies that influence the quantic field. As a result, there are new patterns of electromagnetic disturbances, interruption or distortions in the collective field. The quantum field, also referred to as inner space-time, is rippling these effects into the unmanifest layers of the core manifestation template, otherwise known as the blueprint matrices that make up the layers of morphogenetic fields in the Earth. Grid workers may feel the blueprint structure in the planetary field transforming completely with the shifting timelines, and this feels like something very different, extraordinary and even bizarre is occurring in the Earth fields. It feels like it is a new design that is encompassing our consciousness with the necessity to learn a foreign language, and yet it feels distantly familiar and vastly powerful. The blueprint alterations impact the dark matter template, and this appears to have direct consequences to altering and changing the Earth elements, and the elemental structure of the Earth body. Lisa